Hello everyone and welcome back to Homestuck Squared Streams. Welcome Aleph and welcome anyone viewing anonymously. I did fix the title. I don't know why Twitch chat is not working on the side of this video. If I could get another message sent in chat, I would appreciate it just to test whether or not this is working. I did a little flippy thing in my settings, so it should be okay now. I hope. I will have to check on that. Let's see. So, thanks so much for your patience with having to cancel on Wednesday. My hand is still kind of fucked up. And it's my arthritis, but also the muscles. I've probably overdone it with technology. I'm feeling like it's likely going to be some form of repetitive strain injury, which is so much fun, especially when I have so many fucking papers to type and I'm supposed to graduate this term. Anyway. Thanks for your patience. It's working. Woo! Good stuff. Okay, I'm glad that is all back in order. Let's get these, wrong one. Fuck. I'm sorry. I just clicked on the wrong thing. That disappeared because of me. Which one am I? Oh, it's way down here. Okay. I have too many sources in my... too many sources happening in my OBS thingamajig. I clicked on the wrong switch. I am sure it will still be fine. So, that aside, yes, thank you for your patience. I might have to just finish OneShot and then postpone any future bonus streams until I can get my hands sorted out, just, for the time being. But our bots are asleep again. Wow. The Vriskas are fucking horrible at their job. I started streaming over 10 minutes ago, and they still have not gone off. Well. I suppose pretty accurate to their namesake then. One could say that. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. I swear I just drank water. I'm just, exasperated today. I've got a whole bunch of... Everything always takes longer than I think it will. Which means I'm always struggling with time management. And that's been my day. So, they want to cause problems on purpose. Yes. Precisely. Wait, what? A third bot for Rissy? We could. You'd have to talk to Odd about that. Odd's the one who set up the bots. I mean, the reason that there was a second bot in the first place was because I changed my handle. I changed my Twitch username. So he thought, well, just in case the first one doesn't work anymore because of the changed username, we'll put the second one. But now they both work, except they're both still horrible at their jobs. Is it a prerequisite for a Vriska to know that they are the worst? Or at least beware that everyone thinks that they are? Not a prerequisite, but it's a common shared trait. Speaking of Vriska, one of our pieces of community news for today is we got some more preview images for, whoops, that's the wrong Word file. That's my homework. Where is my one that I put the links into? Because I need to put this link down. If you're watching this on YouTube, the links, any links that are mentioned, will also be posted in the description. So I'm just going to add this particular link to my document so I know to post it in the description. Yes, we got preview images from inside of, hello, there we go, for the inside of book 6, which is coming out on March 6th, not March 16th, got 6 on the brain, March 13th. So the cover we have seen before. So I haven't read the Epilogues book as expected. Yeah, that's, I don't know if I will ever buy the Epilogues personally. But yeah. That's a big honker of a fucking book. You got this, the Grimdark. Ugh, I love the cover art. Gorgeous. There's Vriska. Speaking of Vriska, there she be. And we finally have preview images of the inside. So that includes this scene where Hussey tries to kiss him back to life. Also haven't read the latest bonus update. Oh, me neither. I've seen some spoilery stuff, but I haven't read it yet. No. I will eventually. But because of aforementioned hand injury type bullshit, mostly what I've been doing on my computer is watching YouTube videos so I don't have to use my hand so much. And all of my hand energy really has been going into typing for an essay that I have to do. Is Dante Bosco a notable character, or is it just his character Rufio? Dante Bosco's death was tragic. Technically, it's just the character Rufio, but when we meet Rufio, like Rufioh, Tavros's ancestor troll later, his typing style was based off of the way that Dante Bosco types and speaks. So Dante Bosco himself is not a character in Homestuck, but influenced later characters. All you know is lesbians, which describes like half of Homestuck Squared updates. Yes, I know that there's a lot of lesbian shenanigans in the bonus update. And I won't say more, just I know some specifics, but I don't know if anyone here cares too much about spoilers for that. But yes, lots of lesbian shenanigans. We return to... We go back from the politics of Rosezi's government and return to a different form of politics in Rosezi's government with Jasper's kidnapping Jane. The previous story. Anyway, yes, Dante Bosco. It's just... Rufio is the character in Homestuck, but Dante Bosco has a lot of... I remember back in the day when Dante Bosco read Homestuck for the first time, he live blogged it on Tumblr, and I remember being awake and around on the night that he finally got to these pages. And it was one of those things that, like, it was all you could see on your dashboard for, like, a solid 4 fucking hours, but it completely disappeared after that. Like, I expected, like, I expected a few residual posts to be on my dashboard the next day, but there was nothing. There was just nothing. This happened at, like, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning in my time zone. And then I went to bed and I got up and it was just gone. But that's a pretty common phenomena on Tumblr. Or at least it was back in the day. I don't know so much about these days. Politics? Yeah, I mean, it was more like the governmental, like, structure. I just kind of, like, grabbed the word politics as the first thing that came to my head. Watching The Greatest Showman for the 900th time. Oh, yeah, I saw that one for the first time a couple weeks ago. It was a movie. Good music. Yeah, God, that night. I could probably, fun experiment. If I search for, like, what if I put it in chronological order? What? Can I not put searches in chronological order? I thought I could do that. Let's just go to page 7. Whoops, I misspelled page. Let me see if I can get this on. Why did I just do that? There. Let's see. And there it goes, .png. Yeah, so this is a million people reblogging Dante Basco's post about what the fuck just happened. You'd ask if this is a dream sequence Hussey is having, but you're gonna guess the answer is much more complicated. Slightly disappointed that bonus updates aren't also twice a month, switching between two different stories, but yeah, I mean, like, that's, you know, whatever they have time for, right? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not super invested in what they're doing with the bonus updates right now, so I'm kind of okay with just getting, like, a little sprinkle. Yeah, Dreams, not that much. Yeah, it's... I don't actually remember what this precise, sequence of events leading up to this is. I just know that it's a thing that sure fucking happens. Latter wouldn't be good, but it would be better. Rather watch Hamilton, but reenacted by Homestuck characters as signs get resurrected and got Punisher on the people who fucked him up. Oh yeah, the last one. I mean, I'm not a gore person, but you know. Oh hey, look! It's me from 2012. Okay, this is June 2012. This would have been the end of my 9th grade year. Yeah. Every appearance of Hussey the character only makes less sense in context. That is also true. Oh yes. Oh yeah, this was his response for those curious. Anyway, that's a whole... I don't know why I started going into that too deeply, because I'll probably dig that stuff back up when we actually get there and look a little bit closer at the fucking ridiculousness of it all. Oh, hi, Jade. Yeah, so this part is going to be in the next book, and I'm sure that these thick fucking notes at the bottom of the page are going to be all about the tale of roping Dante Basco into Homestuck bullshit. Love to see the Silencer wreck. Grind high blood with sickle blades. Ooh, yes, perfection. Vriska, as we were talking before, this is from... Why can't I remember the name of this one? This was S-Wake, right? S-Wake, this one where Radia. This is the Megalovania one, which, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it enough times already, I just want you all to know that Megalovania is an Aradia song, not a Vriska song. All Vriska does in this flash is fucking murder Tavros. Boo. Aradia comes back to life. She god tears. She's back, baby. She fucking snaps up. She time stops Jack. She's a bad ass in this flash. And I love her so much. The pathos of the ancestors is that everything good they tried to accomplish failed. I mean, like, yeah, the point of the story. But yeah, but pirate signless beating ass. Oh my. But yeah, and then what was the third one? I think was Jade. Yes, Jade's shit. Let's Be Santa. Alchemy binge. And there's the Iron Last suit, which I think I remember that being one of the things that people brought up when they were worried about like Homestuck getting fucking sued, over using the imagery. But there it is, and here's hoping they don't get sued, because Disney is fucking ruthless pieces of shit. I'm Homestuck is, I'm sure it'll be fine. But, and there's the back cover. You get the rest of the horror tears. Ooh, Aradia, whom I love with my whole heart and soul. And Kenai and Terzi, who I also love with my whole heart and soul. And Carcat, whom I love very much. Anyway. That's enough singing for like 7 streams. So, that's the update on this. March 13th is in 2 weeks? Exactly 2 weeks from today. Yeah, Carcat is like fucking angry. He is too angry to be rendered. Singing? I mean, like, I wasn't really singing, but adding melody kind of to my words. A little. Yeah, that's sick. Oh, that's perfect. That means I can pick it up after work on the next day. Oh no, we might be having family over that day. Oh no, that's fine. I'll just pick it up another time. Anyway, getting distracted. It's already 11:30. We should have started a while ago. So, here is the other amazing news. We're gonna get Roxy next, and these sprites are so fucking cute. Oh my god. And these are, of course, as you can likely tell from the style, Haven Vintage Foods, who also did Vriska, Gamzee, and Nepeta for sprites. I love this so much. It's just, it's gorgeous. I don't even know how else to, damn. Oh, you have Twitter now, cool. Even sprites are so great. They are, it's just such an expressive, like, art style. God. And look at this, beautiful. So we're getting Roxy next. And that will be on March 4th. I think. Because, let me just double check. Yes, I was correct. Okay, so Pesterquest info. Roxy route releases on 3/4, which is March 4th. And then we're doing a bit of a pause before the final route, which will release on April 1st. We need a bit of time for, well, you'll see. Because I'm sure as you all remember, or you may all remember from Hiveswap Friend Sim, the final volume was not just the routes as expected. It also had the big epilogue route with Doc Scratch. So, we're not going to play the other troll route? Oh, I did them all. I streamed all of the trolls. There's not going to be any, Dancestors, if you're referring to, we're not getting any Dancestor routes, no. But, fuck Doc Scratch. Absolutely. But yeah, so who the fuck knows how they're going to tie all of this together to conclude Pesterquest. I am super excited to see what they do with it. A little bit nervous that it will have something to do with, or it will be heavily involved with the epilogues. And that makes me nervous simply because I kind of just, I wasn't a big fan of the epilogues being too involved or too referenced in Pesterquest in the first place anyway. Kind of like the idea of it just being like a separate universe, separate thing. You keep expecting there to be 2 routes. You mean, are there no other troll routes? No, all of the trolls are done. All 12 of the beta trolls have routes, and they're released already. My streams of them are all up on my YouTube channel. They're all done. Every beta troll got one. Yeah. All 4 beta kids, all the beta trolls. We're doing the alpha kids now. Jane and Jake. Jake, I still need to edit and render and upload, but that video is ready to go up on my channel. I'm hoping to have it done and up before the end of this weekend. And then, yes. Yeah. Then I'll post this one from today, and then the next upload after that would be Roxy. But yeah, so that's what's up with Pesterquest. That is what's up with the Pesterquests. You want to hang with Solix? Well, you can do that. In volume, I forget which one he's in, but it exists. Alright, so now, did I put this link in my thing? I think I did. Okay. Cool. That's all done. These have to do with this thing. So chapter 5, Your Eyes Have Been Closed. This is a little different than the other chapters so far in that it is a singular page and it is mostly text you can see in the scroll bar over here. It's a very short little guy. How much do these volumes cost? It is a one-time charge of $12? I bought it like at launch, so I don't even remember. Let me check. Will it even show me the price if I've already bought it? Let me go to the store page. 14? Yeah. Expecting 20. No, it's not quite so much. In library. It's already in your library. So I don't think it's going to show... Okay, because I thought I could find it in... But if I... Fuck it off. I open up an incognito window so that it is not logged into an account. It is Canadian $13.49, so that would be closer to $12 US. And that's not including taxes. Still pay for your cosplay too. Sweet. Yeah, that's $13.49 Canadian dollars, so that's less in US dollars. Yes, I am in Canada, so it's showing me Canadian money. Okay. Right, so this chapter, it's one page, it's a lot of text, it's like all narrative. It's done more epilogue style than the last ones that we've seen. And there is some panel work, as you can see, but there's not very much. And of course, they have the content note at the top. This chapter contains discussions of suicide. It's mentioned in a short paragraph. I will give warning before I start reading that paragraph out loud. So if you are sensitive to the topic, I will give, but you are still interested in the rest of the story, I will give a more specific warning as to when that discussion is going to happen. It is pretty brief. You won't be missing much. Yeah, okay. So we start off with kind of a little montage-esque long panel here. With Dirk and Rose here looking at some biology. We're looking at tentacles. We're looking at hooves, of course. Rose being very unimpressed with whatever the fuck Dirk just made. Oh yes, all of the flying papers going into the like purpley texture at the top. That's so good. That's some good shit. Yes, and down we go, and they start talking about organizing society and doing all this more stuff with beakers. And Dirk is just in his own head. What else is new? There's a hole in your mind for some reason came to mind with that title. Interesting. That's kind of relevant to the rest of this chapter, yeah. Shall see what they discuss. But yes, Dirk, this big shadow, and Rose is leaving. We're getting, you know, the textures and the planes of the planet and the sunset. And as we see the wreckage of the Theseus, we have Rose's Robo Super Eye peering into the distance and finding footprints. Wonder whose those may be. And the background fades off to our text. And that means it's time to actually start reading some things out loud. There's already spoilers on the screen, but you can already see it's going to be Roserezi, who she finds inside. I'm going to have a sip of water, and then we'll start reading. The distant hum of struggling mechanics fills Rosezi's ears as she sits cross-legged on the floor of the now ruined engine room. She likes it here. The soft white noise ringing of the extensive ventilation network sounds if she closes her nose just right, like the rustle of wind through the leaves of a tree hive universes away. She's homesick, sweet baby. The warm thrumming of machines at work is accompanied by blinking lights that taste like rainbow sprinkles as they flicker. But Roserezi isn't distracted from the main object of her focus. The unconscious body of Rose Lalonde, bathed in dim light, chest rising and falling in an artificially induced slumber. Wires and tubes rise up from her plinth to the ceiling of the chamber, keeping her alive, yes, but too much just for that purpose. Something about the tangle of intravenous tubing and fiber optic cables makes Roserezi think of the old stories about the psionic. Her train of thought is interrupted by metallic footfalls and the screeching sound of a broken airlock door sliding open. There you are. I haven't seen much of you. I've been right here for hours, but your eyes have been closed the whole time. Rosebot turns her head to look back at that frail, failing vessel that once housed her consciousness. She doesn't even dispatch a fake laugh to her behavioral display matrix in pity of this half-joke. Oh, I see. You know, sometimes my brain just doesn't fucking work when I read things for the first time. Your eyes have been closed the whole time, talking about the eyes on Rose's fucking human body that's hooked up to all the tubes. Goddamn. Can't believe that only just clicked. Your attachment to my comatose body is unexpectedly charming, as well as slightly sinister. She isn't going to do anything. She isn't coming back from where she's gone. You never know. Yes, I suppose that's true. Anything can happen. You can't see the future, etc., etc. Except I can. I can see the trajectory the story needs to take, and thus I know the trajectory it will take. And resurrecting my meat puppet would not only be difficult to the point of being worthless, it would also be extremely boring. Not that it would be out of character for the story. We live and breathe on the stupefyingly mind-numbing and the mind-numbingly stupid. But then we begin to veer toward dissolution yet again. So Rose is saying ain't gonna happen because of her seer powers and seeing the trajectory they need to go on. Yes, talking about how the stupefyingly mind-numbing and the mind-numbingly stupid will veer them towards dissolution. We did get a lot of the stupefyingly mind-numbing and the mind-numbingly stupid in Candy. That is true. Not prepared to think about the ethics of fucking the comatose body of someone astral projecting her mind to a robot? You are, but you don't want to. Oh. That's... Yeah, I think, I think I'd rather not think too much about that either. Oh dear. If what you're saying is true, if a story has to be compelling to be canon, do you really think Dirk is the type to tell a compelling story? His taste in anime alone is concerning. I did enjoy the one about the horses, though. Oh yeah, does anyone know if this is a specific reference? Because I watch enough anime to know things about anime, but not enough anime to know a lot of references. MLP? Oh, that's true. She could just be talking about MLP. Because my mind was on, like, what would usually be referred to as anime, as in, like, specifically a Japanese anime. But you interpreted it as BoJack. Could be either. Although I'm leaning a little more towards My Little Pony, just because it's horses plural. Although I have watched only a limited, or seen only a limited amount of BoJack, so I don't actually know if there's more than one horse. I just, from what parts that I saw, there was only one horse that was BoJack. I think he was specifically into MLP, but that could just be fanon. Yeah, he was into MLP. There were pictures of Rainbow Dash in his room, at the beginning of Act 6, BoJack Dirkman is a thing for... But wait, I did not read that correctly. BoJack Dirkman is a thing for a reason. Is that, like, a particular AU with a following? Is it something that someone wrote, or just, like, fan art stuff? Oh, I see. I don't think that counts as anime. So now with your suggestions, both of your suggestions as to what that might have meant, that comment makes a lot more sense. Okay. Got it. I don't think that counts as anime. But that's why we're here, isn't it? To steer the story the right way. I guess. But you're not enthusiastic. Ugh. Playing with the whole world like it's some kind of squeaky loose toy does sound like it has its moments. I mean, my friends wanted to rule your little world as petty tyrants after we won the game ourselves. But do you think that would have been for the best for you and all the other mammalian weirdos on your planet? It didn't happen because it didn't happen. If I have to hear one more tautology from either of you, I am going to move to the woods and play your new society as a hermit bog monster forever. Sounds fucking good. Okay, we have Link. Dirk is BoJack, but who was Jake in the scenario, Todd? He is also BoJack. Okay. So, BoJack Horseman is simultaneously both Dirk and Jake. Understood. See, that's more the spirit. Become as myth, Terzi Pyrope, the troll under the bridge you were always meant to be. The village chalk supplies would be ravaged. Townsfolk would tell their children scary stories of the terrible dragon hiding in the woods. If they're not good, she might emerge from the swamp and moralize at them. So, you know, the teasing, and then we get to the real bone that Rose has to pick with Terzi. But again, we don't know how much of this is influenced by Dirk, although it does, very minor spoiler, but it comes up later that Dirk was kind of narrating on autopilot, so to speak. Cryptid Terzi sounds kind of hot. Cryptid Terzi sounds like a perfect thing for Terzi to become. It sounds very in line with her character. But in the instance where Rose is being like, yes, do it, it comes off as a little condescending for her to be like, become the myth, Terzi. You know, especially with this, like, who might moralize at them. Oh my goodness. Just because you've elected to abandon the concepts of good and bad entirely doesn't mean I don't still have moral reservations. But this isn't about that. I'm talking about the basic ability of intelligent beings in all real and hypothetical planes of existence to give a shit. I don't give a shit. And honestly, I have a hard time understanding why you do. Where did this come from? You didn't do much world building when you fucked off for eons and let chess people build your planet. You do give a shit, you just wish you didn't. Yeah, because I mean, like, that's what all of this is, right? She's worked up, she's upset here because she's giving a shit. You know, she's genuinely concerned for the future of this planet and the creatures that will inhabit it. And what Dirk and Rose might do to them, like... That approach failed. Without an organized antagonistic force, the planet became fundamentally unsuited to relevance. Its dissolution was inevitable, and our fellow victors couldn't, or wouldn't, see. We only know of one way to perpetuate canon for sure. To play and defeat the game, and to continue the life cycle of the Genesis frog we cling to parasitically. This, obviously, has destructive consequences. Ones we spared the Earth by coming here and starting from a blank slate. Now it is protected in the steady hands of a duly elected ruler, sure to have a boring and uneventful perpetual term in office. Blah, 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 blah. So you feel bad about how much you guys were big teen failures and want another flip of the coin? God, Rose, I know. God. I mean, like, all of this stuff about fundamentally unsuited to relevance, and it's like, that's the goal, is relevance, canonicity. That's what they're aiming for with this whole endeavor, right? But, like, I gotta ask myself, what benefit does any of that have for them as people? Like, they understand that they're characters in a story, yes. But, like, why are they pursuing? I feel like I'm asking a dumb question, probably. But, you know, like we see, for example, in Candy, all this relevance is fading and all this other stuff is happening, and Rose is just like, John, thank you. You know, Jane's a crockpot pun very much intended. Yeah, boring and uneventful perpetual term in office. Oh dear. No, I don't feel bad I don't need to bargain with the past or question it. Everything that happened brought us here. An imperfect mechanism, to be sure, rusting in points, barely functioning in others, occasionally relying on the labor of strange clowns. As the sheer number of doomed universes our actions in the game spun off should show, we barely understood the design at the time. Truly, we stumbled through the tape of the finish line ass first, cheating all the way. But there was no table of judges waiting to adjudicate our performance by holding up little placards with numbers on them. We are the observers, and we are the judges. We won, and to the victor go the spoils. If you want a hand in making the rules of this new world, then don't storm off. So, to review. She's saying everything that happened brought us here, and it wasn't perfect. And we stumbled through the tape of the finish line, ass first, cheating all the way. But, we can do as we wish with our spoils, kind of thing. Is she implying that this, because she was doing a lot of cheating, just as an aside, that was a lot of her. You're trying to lead me to accept your moral framework. What if no one should control a universe? All we fought against was monsters who converted power into control, and now everything we lost fighting them was. And not everything we lost fighting them was a mistake. There was still a lot sacrificed for the idea of good. What's the point in continuing this story if that was meaningless? If Lord English was just holding up the world? If it takes acting like him to keep it alive, wouldn't it be better to just let it die? Rosebach looks over the plinth where her body sits, kept alive, sure, but atrophied and weak, dependent on this machine to continue projecting consciousness to the abiotic enclosure, keeping the realization of the ultimate self from tearing her apart. So it is this next this next paragraph, that is the one where suicide is briefly discussed. So I'm going to highlight this paragraph here, if any of you want to turn the sound off, and when I click away from highlighting this paragraph, that means we're done with discussion of that paragraph. The paragraph above, I mean. Wouldn't it be better to just let it die? Terzi isn't asking a new question. Rose had first threatened suicide when she was 8. She couldn't bear the thought of attending the funeral her mother was organizing for her beloved cat, Jaspers. When she was 10, she put on her coat and stood in whipping winter winds on the balcony overlooking a frozen waterfall, imagining the plunge with a blank expression on her face, eyes stinging from the New York cold. Her mother had drunk herself to sleep with the vacuum on, again, the mechanical wailing inside playing a chord with the gale outside, inescapable. But her first, and only, real attempt was a success. Which would, of course, be referring to the suicide mission to deliver the tumor. There's a weird thing about this paragraph where it says that, when she was 8, bearing the thought of attending the funeral of her beloved cat Jaspers. But if we go back, it says, timestamp, this was almost 9 years ago. So if Rose was 13, that would mean this is when she was 4. And if we jump ahead a little, it says he appeared a couple weeks after he vanished, his body washed up along the riverbank. So that funeral would have been when she was 4, not when she was 8. So I'm not sure what's up with that. This chapter is fucking good. It's an interesting one. I love these two characters. Yeah. I enjoy spending time with Rose and Terzi. But I will save my opinions for the end of the chapter. Okay. So we're not done with talking about that paragraph. We're gonna keep on rolling. All these thoughts cross her mind in a microcycle. Explaining things to someone not aided by the exponential increase in processing power Rosebot has is tedious. Terzi's hesitation won't be swayed by explaining more of the universe. There's another source at work. The date of the appearance of Red Miles in Post and Pre-Scratch universe? Are you talking about like the 413 years difference, or is there another thing happening there? Minor timeline plot holes aren't anything new. But, yeah, that was just a thing noticed. Where was I? Oh, yes. Rose is about to, poke the bear. For 13 years after 2009 in Pre-Scratch, and 413 years after 2011 in Post-Scratch. I mean, that doesn't sound like a mistake to me. Just because 413 years after 2009 would be 413 years after the beta kids enter the game, whereas 2011 would have been 413 years after the alpha kids entered the game. So, I mean, that would make sense to me. That doesn't sound like a plot hole. Not to be indelicate, Terzi, but I have wondered something. Yeah, it would be completely unlike you to be it would be completely unlike you to be indelicate. I'm being serious. You said it yourself that you don't give a shit. This melancholy, this meaninglessness you're feeling, I think there's another explanation for it. One having little to do with the structural soundness of our plan. I think there's a psychological explanation at work here. Of course you do. You think there's a psychological explanation for everything. And it all has to do with mothers and repression. Your mother was an egg. I recognize there are limitations at play here to the human experience. But I don't think it requires a great deal of insight, even though I do in fact have a great deal of insight, to recognize that you are fucking depressed. Oh, thank you, Dr. Science. Let me take out my human checkbook to pay you for these invaluable human insights. Yeah, not every plot hole sinks the story. That's true. Discovering that there was a problem is the only way to solve it. The consistent insistence that everything is as it ought to be isn't just counterproductive, it's pathetic. From one seer to another, we both know how bad you've gotten in the past. Or if not in the past, in some past. I have no desire to meet that Terzi, no matter how doubtlessly sticky and charming she might be. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Rose is really... Here is my psychoanalytic take on this situation, and I am correct, so listen to me. Not every bad feeling is a syndrome, and just because I do things differently than you doesn't mean my brain is broken. That's not what depression is. Oh my god, I don't care. Stop trying to get through to me or whatever else you think is happening here. We aren't friends. Just go and do your arts and crafts project with people's lives. Shockingly, Roserezi, I'm not asking you for your permission or your blessing. I need neither. I was offering you a reprieve from the monotony of the last 3 years and what promises to be a long stretch of time going forward. Your life is going to be short compared to mine and Dirk's, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Oof. Oh, Rose, stop. Please. It's always on the second read through for these streams that, like, it really starts sinking in. Just, you know, all of the details and the tone and all this stuff. And, like, Rose is being sharp here. Like, she's been pretty cut and dry with Roserezi. Oh, the two of you really are made for each other. I am made from him. That's how families work. Is that why you left Kanaya behind? Because you know so fucking much about family? Ooh. And she's snapping back. Oh my god. I would be careful if I were you. The weight of what I know and you do not is enough to overwhelm a mortal frame. Ugh, shut up. Stop pulling this mythical bullshit every time. Don't you miss her? Don't you? Your constant deflection is as pointless as it is ineffective. My feelings are irrelevant. There is nothing to mourn if it all dissolves. Nothing, not even the capacity for grief. If the cycle of canon must continue, then it must. Some don't understand that. You do. She's deflecting again. My feelings are irrelevant. So the answer is not no. But she said there is nothing to mourn if it all dissolves. I mean, she's referring here specifically to cycle of canon, right? But in my head, I'm also thinking about how she, still under the impression that Kanaya was okay with all of this. And, you know, kind of gave her blessing. Rose doesn't know that the moment they were gone, her wife was like, what the fuck? We should break soon? That is true. It has been almost an hour. I don't know. This is one long chapter, so there's not really a very ideal place to break. Although, you know, we're almost done. This is definitely, I think this is the shortest one they've put out yet, because it's a lot of text on one page, but it is still just the one page. So, yeah, if you look at the thing on the side, we're like 3/4 of the way through this chapter. But, I mean, that works just as well for me, because I have homework to get back to, unfortunately. But, yeah. This is definitely going to be a shorter than usual stream today. You do. I did. Is this what canon means, though? Garish orange and purple gods acting out the same story again and again? There's an extra letter A in there. Missed when they were trying to fill in that typing quirk. Another journey, another planet, another game. I grew up thinking I had to throw away everyone and go jet off to space. It wasn't good or evil. It was easy to justify as just what must happen. It was essential. But was it relevant and true? This isn't the same thing, and you know it. We see things the way they are. We are obliged to act, to save the concept of meaning itself by continuing to spin the narrative loom into new tapestries. I used to enjoy talking to you, you know, when I thought this was what you wanted, that Kanaya just couldn't understand, that we had to do this, but now I can't tell. Did you want all this, or did the prince? She knows what's up. She's been hearing Dirk this whole time. She knows Dirk is all up in her head. And this, of course, on top of asking about Kanaya and all this other stuff, straw that broke the camel's back. Abruptly, Terezi's lifted from the ground with a glidingly smooth, effortless motion. Metal is so much stronger than flesh. She flashes a sharp-toothed grin as her feet dangle uselessly in front of the lithe, metallic form of her counterpart Seer. Inspiring a reaction like this from Rose's robotic placidity has been like squeezing blood from a stone on this years-long journey. Delicious, candy red blood. I have complete recall of every sensation my body experienced. I can simulate, and have simulated, cherished and tragic memories in their entirety. They flood my circuits with feeling, more real than flesh ever could be, a direct contact between mind and memory. Is this what you want to hear, Terezi? That I can replay the complete sensory experience of my first kiss 100 times in a single clock cycle? Do you want me to rend my garments and wail at the tragedy of it all? Play victim, damsel in distress, leak lubricant from the joints of my eyes to simulate the tears I can no longer shed? I know what I have lost. I have taken a full account of it. I cannot and will not forget it. But to cling to it as it faded to nothing would be a meaningless capitulation to entropy. Someone must sit atop Mount Olympus and propagate the fabric of reality upon which these memories sit. This is the task we have taken on. The game does not feel. The game does not mourn. The game must be played, and we must guide those who will play it better than we ourselves were guided. Just as I have remembered the good, I can recall the terror that consumed me and overwhelmed my body. The visions of dissolution, the narrative unspooling, 1,000 voices shouting contradiction. What value is a marriage, temporary domestic bliss, if all is lost? You understand this bargain. At least you should. It's one that was made to leave you alone. Is it your resentment towards my choice about Kanaya? Or is it about bonk? She almost said the Vriska word. But that was Terezi's straw that broke the camel's back. It was mentioning Vriska. This is a really good monologue. Oh my god. So here we get, again, more detail about the ways that Rose is connected to her mental state through the body, and the way that the bot was made and how it can process these things so quickly. But then she gets into this whole thing with someone must sit atop Mount Olympus and propagate the fabric of reality upon which these memories sit. Is that entirely true? But yeah, God. This is the task we must make on. Yeah, the game does not feel, the game does not mourn, the game must be played, and we must guide those who will play it better than we ourselves are guided. So, these are all things, there's a lot of things that sound like things that Dirk would say, but it's like they were already relatively similar. People were already drawing these comparisons before Dirk got all up in her head, right? And I mean, the fact that they were already relatively similar characters may be a relevant factor in making it easier for Dirk to get in her head like this. But like, she was just like, hit that crescendo with like busting out the Vriska word, and that was that. Bonk. Rosebot's even metallic voice is interrupted by the bang of a skull against metal, and Terezi's headbutt collapses the both of them into a crumpling heap of metal and flesh. Love how I'm treating Vriska like a swear. You can only say Vriska once in a PG-13 movie. Yeah, in this instance, it's like, in this instance, for Terezi, it's a big no-no word. It's a big don't go there. But yeah, I want to see Vriska once in a PG-13 movie. God. That was a step too far. Tensions that once simmered under the surface have found the catalyst for a boil. Terezi and Rosebot's repartee of words is replaced by the dissonant notes of clanging and smashing as they roll around on the floor of the crashed Theseus's central chambers, throwing punches and smashing into control panels in a crescendo of chaos. This is more than a sufficient distraction from the melancholy Terezi was sinking into. Her senses are alight. The whir of servos and accutators are a dusting of snow on her hearing, undercutting the percussion of their rolling wrestling match. The orange cloth she's ripping and scuffing suffuses every breath she inhales with the sweetly acidic taste of grapefruit and tangerine. She imagines anger pouring from the glassy red eyes as they roll over one last time. Rosebot finally has Terezi pinned to the ground by the throat. A cool metallic knee is pressed hard between her legs, holding her down. A natural pause in the staccato squabble is found, and two pairs of red eyes are locked on each other. Terezi's breath rises and falls deeply. The robot's intricately crafted torso does not simulate breath, but the soft, susurrous purr of cooling fans betrays the tension. Terezi spits out a few raspy words gleefully. I take it back. Turns out I still enjoy talking to you. A simulated smirk is summoned into being on the robot's face. A voice file plays in high fidelity. Back to our usual stimulating dialogue, it seems. Rosebot leans in close. Terezi can smell the licorice black lipstick, same kind as always, applied now to synthetic polymer lips inches away from her own. Rosebot's metal fingers close just a little tighter around her neck. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, can y'all say black Roserezi? Because, damn. Yeah, so, like, black Roserezi. Kiss Mrs. Roserezi. You ship it? Like, yeah, I can get into that. Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen, like, a couple of different conversations about that surrounding, like, what does this mean for their respective relationships with Kanaya and with Vriska and, like, this kind of stuff, and I don't know. Stop being cowards and release the the what? Yeah, Dirk. Okay, I'll keep reading his next little paragraph. I fiddle with some advanced speciation machinery for a few hours and then come back to this? This is the problem with lesser actors. Leave them alone for too long and they get all touchy and start talking about feelings. We were passing the Bechdel test and advancing none of the plot. There were hardly any panels. That's not my Homestuck. You people are here for logic. Systems. Weird plot shit. Lore. Not this. Might not change much with Kanaya because trolls be like that. Yeah, it really just depends on... Yeah, I mean, like, the answer to what about their other relationships is it really depends on what specifically their... Oh, Aleph, that's... Sure is a URL. Oh, it's an erotic webcomic publisher. Well... if you're underage, please don't click on that link, and I will not be providing this link in the description of my YouTube video. It could have been explained with words instead of sending a link to porn in my chat. Just for future reference, please don't link pornographic material in the chat. So it's where Dave Willis, someone is dumbing a bitch porn. Your cursed troll biology realization? You did use your words. Yes, thank you for using your words, Max. You're quite welcome, yes. Your cursed troll biology realization. I mean, as long as it doesn't get into, like, not safe for work territory. So, because we can clearly see this is Dirk cutting in, there have been a lot of questions as to who was narrating up until this point then. Not safe for work than Homestuck itself. Alright, well, go for it. Fuck it. Yeah, a lot of questions as to who was narrating up until this point. And I am personally, I'm pretty solid on the theory that this was like Dirk kind of like had the autopilot going in the background for the narrator stuff, because he wasn't really paying attention to Rose. And we've seen him, you know, like when he had the waking self and the dream self, no, that's not the right way to put it. Like his Earth self and his Dirk self switching consciousness as at the same time. That's too many S's for one word. Like switching consciousness back and forth. That sounded better. So it's, and especially with the ultimate self stuff, it would not be surprising if he was able to just do this kind of stuff on autopilot in the background when he's concentrating on other things. So that's the theory that I buy into. But if any of you have theories, that about who the narrator may be that differ from that, would be interested in hearing that as well. I want to drop those in chat if you have other theories, but that is the one that I am the most privy to. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that fourth wall break a little much? Did your disbelief, until now so utterly delinquent and prone to vagrants that it's been suspended indefinitely, finally collapse? Go ahead and close the fucking book then. Quit out of your browser, slam the laptop closed, and punt it into the ocean. That shark is probably hungry after all that jumping. You won't, though. If you were going to quit, you would have quit before this. We're in this for the long haul, you and I. We'll all go down together. Welcome to Nam. Anyway, where was I? This, of course, being a reference to one of Dave's most famous early Homestuck rants, which, yes, that was the one with Tavros. I was trying to remember what conversation that was. That was the first time that Tavros tried to talk to him. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right. Passing judgment on my robotic ecto-daughter smashing the damn shipping grid to pieces. Really, Rose? Really? Our task of phenomenal cosmic importance isn't going to wait for a dalliance. I've just mastered fine-tuning parasidactyl hooves with this machine and need my co-monarch back. Plus, what would dear sweet Kanaya think? You shithead! I'm gonna fucking fuck your shit! You fuck shit mother shithead? So sorry for this, I've been thinking about it for days. Okay. Considering Gamzee and Jade, and the most likely explanation for Rose knowing how to artificially induce lactation, since first he was adopted, being Kanaya, and also, you know what, human breast milk is probably biologically an addictive or at least extremely tasty substance for trolls. You legit don't think Kanaya would care too much about Rose being in a kismesis with Roserezi? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Rose and Kanaya did a lot of quadrant experimenting on the meteor. I'm fairly certain that is a thing that actually happened in the comic and not just something that's common in fanfiction. Baby yourself with Mama's Bride human. Oh, God. Okay. Well, you did say it was no more NSFW than Homestuck itself. And unfortunately, you are correct. That is... Thinking about this for days, oh my. Yeah. I'm gonna fuck Dirk up for condescending Kanaya. This mother... Okay. Oh my god, shut up and give us some privacy, nerd. Because, like, Roserezi can hear him narrating miles away. Yeah. I do want that twink obliterated. God. Fine, be that way. I'll just get a head start on my species then. It's only the fate of a new planet on which the weight of saving the universe lies. If voiding the warranty on a complex piece of machinery is more important to you than all that, go ahead. I've got better things to do. Oh my goodness. I want that twink obliterated. So, you know, he's talking about, yeah, fine. It's only the fate of a planet on which the saving the universe lies. If you're avoiding the warranty on a complex piece of machinery, more important. Oh my god. I've got better things to do. It was all one page. So much happens here. Yeah. Single page chapter. God. So, the two options are that Dirk could genuinely be just like, I've got better things to do. Like, that's such a stupid thing to do. Or he's bitter and jealous because he can't get any ever again. Basically. So yeah, that was accidentally, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. Yeah. So, okay. God damn, like that was all one page. But I mean, like, that was, you know, decent chapter length. I saw someone suggest, though, that because we get all this talk of meet Rose and Kanaya in this chapter, that the next chapter might be Like, oh my god, what if they contrast this with Candy Rosemary in the next chapter? Like, they've got to show Candy Rosemary eventually. And when they do, I will cease to exist on this plane. I will fucking ascend. You mostly just want to see Candy again? Me too. Like, that's the thing. I was not... When it came to the epilogues themselves, I preferred Meat over Candy because so many things in Candy just, like, made me so viscerally uncomfortable. But if all Meat is in this timeline, in the, like, Homestuck Squared, is just, like, a bunch of these guys fucking around on a planet, and then a bunch of stuff with Jane on Earthsea, then, like, I'm far more invested in the Candy cast. Actually, no, I don't think we've seen Meet Earth yet, have? No, we haven't seen Meet Earth yet. We've seen the Meet crew on the spaceship. Oh, that's right. Okay. We saw, right, the bonus updates are Meet Earth. That's where I'm getting that impression from. But yeah, I'm far more invested in the Candy timeline because the Candy, it's like the C plot. Yeah. The A plot, the B plot, new and improved. There's also the C plot now. You still don't know which route you like ever. Yeah. But just because so much of the Meat timeline in this is a lot of Dirk whining and a lot of the, like, philosophical whinging about the meta-narrative type bullshit, like, I personally can only enjoy the meta-type characters going on about narrative relevance and all that for, like, a very minimal period of time before I'm like, like, I'm done with this. You know, I didn't take philosophy in high school for a reason. It's not my poison. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't know which route you like better. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just having more fun with, like, the quote unquote irrelevant shenanigans on Candy Earth in this. When the meta talk goes on for way too long, fucks given meter has depleted, please check again later. Basically, yeah. Because I know, as much as it's like, I know that a lot of these themes are prevalent in Homestuck proper, they weren't quite so blatantly discussed by the characters themselves within the comic. Like, it was a lot of fandom talk about things like Act 7 symbolizes the kids escaping the narrative by getting away from Lord English and, like, exiting the game and all this stuff. But within the comic itself, there wasn't a lot of the characters talking explicitly about those sorts of theory things. And they're leaning into that a lot more with Homestuck Squared, in particular with, you know, the Meat stuff with Dirk and Rose and all that jazz, which makes sense for that whole plotline, but not wholly my cup of tea when I'm looking for media to consume. Like, there's like 2 fics that I started to read and I was like, cool, this is like a thing that's like recent, you know, it's updating regularly in present day and isn't that exciting and all this stuff. But then they started getting into, they transformed into epilogue fics with, like, narrative Dirk or, like, other, you know, like, that sort of thing. And then I was like, oh, well, that's not what I signed up for, and I unfortunately stopped keeping up with them because that's just not the kind of thing that I like to engage too much in my spare time. Which is not to say that I'm still enjoying reading Homestuck Squared. I'm still enjoying reading it for sure, but I'm enjoying the goofy bits a little bit more. you're pretty invested in everything going on because you love everything, every Homestuck character, basically every Homestuck character. I mean, like, that's the thing. Me too. I'm still super invested in it, even if this particular part of the direction they're taking it isn't my cup of tea, although, like, philosophical. I love these characters. I want to see where they're going with the story, and you know, I'm still down. I'll deal with getting through the philosophabble to get to the parts where Carcat and Dave are talking about their feelings to two different people on the spaceship. Or Candy Rosemary. Oh my god. I'm seriously gonna fucking assign what they show Candy Rosemary. But anyway. Dang, it's 12:37. I thought this was gonna finish a lot earlier, but I guess I started a little bit later today, which, again, apologies for that. I just got distracted talking to my mother dear. But yeah, so tomorrow night, we're gonna be back to Homestuck Reread streams. It's been like 3 weeks since a Homestuck Reread stream, maybe even in like 4 weeks. Like, it's been a while. I don't even fucking remember where we are. I know that we're, like, in Act 3. If I look at my bookmarks. I think we're, like, halfway through Act 3. I know that I'm pretty sure we've gotten to some of the first troll conversations, or at least Carcat's first conversation. But yeah, we're on page... The fuck? I can't even read my own writing. 950. We'll be resuming from page 950 tomorrow. OneShot Wednesday. Have to see... how my hands are doing. I'm considering finishing off OneShot and then putting the bonus streams on hold again for a little bit, just until I can get a handle on the situation of me having probably given myself a repetitive stress injury in my right hand. So I should probably lay off the video games. But I would like to finish OneShot because I feel like we're getting close to the end. Also, it's not a very intensive game, but still. Yeah, Jade, do you know how exactly close we are to the end? And, like, knowing the amount of progress that we've made each stream so far, would you be able to estimate 2 more sections of the game? Okay, that's probably, like, I'd say that's 2 more sections. I'd say that's, like, 4 more streams, because it's generally three or four. It's generally been 1.5 to 2 streams per, like, puzzle section. Okay. Alright, well, we'll see how things go. Hopefully. I was supposed to fucking call the doctor's office today, and then I forgot. So, hopefully, I can get an appointment soonish. If I call on Monday. See if I have time to call before I have to go to class. Oof. Yeah. Anyway, it is time to skedaddle for tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I hope that y'all had a lovely time. I had a lot of fun going through this one. I think my favorite part, just as like reading it out loud, was reading Rose's monologue near the end there. I really enjoyed reading that one out loud. Okay. I will continue streaming Homestuck Squared updates as they come out. I will also continue screaming. I will be screaming as well. But I meant to say streaming Pesterquest as it concludes. So that'll be Roxy next weekend. Hell yeah! Roxy next Friday. Sweet. Yeah, I'll be doing Homestuck Squared, I'll be doing Pesterquest, I'll be doing regular Homestuck Reread, I'll be doing OneShot until that finishes. And that's what's up on this channel. Okay. To conclude, thanks for hanging out. I'll be right back here tomorrow with regular Homestuck Reread streams for the first time in too fucking long. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Fingers crossed, I'll be seeing you all right back here tomorrow for regular Homestuck Reread streams. Alright, good night, and Homestuck Volume 5 will play us out.